Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hope your weekends are going well. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. And so Saturday, if you follow the channel, you know that I've been trying and succeeding for the most part in working on my own cars on the weekend. Spend all week having fun with everyone else's cars. And so yeah, now Saturdays are for me. Come in and work from usually like 8 or 9 till 2, 3, something like that. Part day. Anyway, so today I decided to give the good old 52 split window some love here. And a couple things. Why don't we go ahead and talk about what I did? First thing that I did was drain the oil. And guys, I have to be honest with you, this is kind of embarrassing, but I never drained or changed the oil on this car since I bought it. It had, this is what I think Rick GTI 2.5 said it best when he said that a shoemaker walks around in wore out shoes or something like that. That's pretty much me, guys. So my cars usually get pretty neglected. And so I've had this car for, I don't know, 4 years or so, and 3.5, 4 years, and I've never even done an oil change on it. Kind of embarrassing. So finally I was like, okay, I got to do this. And the oil was appropriately black, and there was, a not surprising amount of like sludge at the bottom on the sump plate and stuff like that. But yeah, took the sump plate off. These of course have a separate drain plug off to the side to drain the oil, not on the sump plate like on later cars. And yeah, the screen in there had, I don't know, whoever did an oil change on this last put some kind of very tough sealant on the oil screen in there. And guys, I'm not kidding. I might have spent half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour cleaning the sealant off of that screen. I wish I had another one laying around. I would have just grabbed it. But yeah, so anyway, that was not necessarily the fun part of the project. But yeah, anyway, so drained the oil, removed the sump plate, cleaned it all, and put it on with a new oil change kit. I haven't added oil to it yet, and I still plan to do a valve adjustment, which I've also never done since I've had the car. So again, shame on me, but there you go, neglecting my own cars to take care of everyone else's. Anyway, so yeah, started an oil change. Again, still need to add oil, still need to adjust the valves. And I had previously bought a carburetor rebuild kit for it. And so I went ahead and pulled the carburetor and cleaned it up real good. It definitely had a lot of sediment in it. I think I mentioned before that this car was having an issue where when you would drive it for an extended period of time, like say in fourth gear, it would start acting like it was running out of gas. And then, if you'd kind of let off the gas for a few seconds, it would kind of like catch back up again and then be fine for a while. So I will eventually be going through the entire fuel system, but went ahead and started right there with the carburetor. And like I said, cleaned it up. So I didn't do what I would consider a full restoration on it, because if I did, it would have all zinc plated hardware and everything like that. But all the steel pieces, so all this linkage and stuff, and the steel bolts, everything was just kind of rusty and gross looking, kind of like the rest of the motor. Anyway, so yeah, I went ahead and sandblasted all of the steel components and then just shot a quick coat of clear on them to kind of preserve them. So it looks okay. I mean, I didn't want it to look too nice right now, although I don't know, maybe I did. But the rest of the motor looks so bad, I didn't want it to look like it had a brand new carburetor in it. So I don't know, maybe I should have left it a little nastier looking, but that's really hard for me to do, guys. You know how retentive we are around here about stuff. So yeah, kind of like, I guess, a moderate restoration of the carburetor cosmetically. Ultrasound cleaned the parts and stuff, cleaned out all the jets, passages, etc. So should run great. I haven't started it yet because there's no oil in the engine. That would be a terrible idea. But anyway, so did that on the carburetor, and then while I was at it, this has driven me crazy on this car since day one. At some point, somebody painted the the generator pulley on here silver, and the 36 millimeter nut silver, which looked terrible. And so finally, while I think I was like draining the oil or whatever, pulled off the pulley and painted the two halves here. And then I don't know if I like this or not. I don't know, guys. The nut here and the big thick washer, I blackened them. I don't know. I may go ahead and pull them off and paint them, or eventually have them powder coat. I'll probably leave it alone for now, but yeah, I'm not super happy with it. It's a little bit too matte in color, I think. I don't know, guys. We'll see. But anyway, it's better than rattle can painted silver, which again looked terrible. So yeah, that was pretty much what I did on the motor. I did clean the air cleaner housing a little bit. It's still, it's going to need some body work and a good paint job whenever I redo this motor. But yeah, that was kind of it, guys. So some cosmetic stuff, at least started an oil change and rebuilt the carburetor. And I did actually at, let's see, what show was that? At Octo, I did buy a already rebuilt correct fuel pump for this car. The one that's on here now, the top of it's correct. The bottom of it is completely wrong. And because the base that I had, which I had the correct base, was on this car on the fuel pump. It was severely warped, the flange where it mounts right there, and I was kind of trying to straighten it out a little bit, and it cracked, not surprisingly, so had to hunt down another one. And the good thing with these fuel pumps is pretty much all the bottoms and all the tops are compatible with each other. But again, that looks very out of place on here, because anyone who knows these motors knows that the correct one should look totally different. It's got like a big screw, basically big flathead screw right there on the end. And anyhow, but I do have a rebuilt one, but I may wait because again, it's going to be looking too nice for the rest of the motor. So I don't know, guys, we'll see. But I think that was pretty much it for today, guys. So I guess with that, I will let you guys go, and I will see you again on Monday. Oh, well, here, let me just show you this real quick, and then I'll let you go for real. So this is the rubber floor mat, which is the correct for a standard Beetle. Actually, this is the tunnel floor mat on these. I think I might have mentioned this before. Is on a standard Beetle, the floor mat on the tunnel only goes up to about the shifter. So this goes up to the front firewall. Obviously, this is where the pedal assembly is. And then this pretty much stops right at the shifter and the what do you call it? The choke lever there. So yeah, so in other words, it would basically go from here forward, and then from there back, the tunnel is totally bare, no carpet. So again, starting to think about making the interior of this car correct. This carpet up here is fine for now, but this has to come out. And then in the back, behind the back seat, that carpet needs to come out. It should be cardboard in a standard. And then of course I do have the correct material for the seats. This is not the correct material, and it shouldn't have piping on it for this car. It's just all kind of wrong. And I have on the way the close to correct material for the door panels too, which on a standard is different than the seats. So yeah, lots of stuff to come for this car, guys. The next big thing will be interior. We'll probably start on that in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, for real, this time that is it. So thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.